Alright lads, here we are for round number 16. I know it's part 15, that's of course because we had the double episode with Hungary and Germany, but here we are for the Korean Grand Prix. The season here is nearing its end and there's only 3 races to go after this one. So here we are, Korean Grand Prix. We qualified in 10th place, so we had some decent pace throughout Q1 and Q2, and then for whatever reason, just like in Suzuka, the AI just stepped it up in terms of their pace quite dramatically. So I had nothing to really answer for, but I'm going to hope for pretty much the exact same start that I had in Suzuka, trying to gain as many spots as I can off the start and try and get as close as I can to Nico Rosberg. Look at that race strategy. That is 4 stops. I've actually never seen that ever on any F1 game, to be honest. So if the game thinks we need to do at least 4 stops, then we're in for a massively tough race. The tyre wear is set to be very bad. So without further ado, let's go to the grid. Alright, so here we are on the grid of the Korean Grand Prix, waiting for those 5 red lights to go out as they always do. And away we go here in Korea. It looks like the start has been fairly decent as we head into turn 1. We got Bottas, who got up to an absolutely flying start, trying to hold around the outside. We're going to dive it up the inside of Magnussen there and into P9. We haven't quite got the drive on exit, getting a lot of wheel spin, almost turning into the path of Massa as we were catching the slide. And now we're using up all of our curves in the double slipstream of Alonso and Magnussen now, trying to possibly go up the inside into turn 3 now. And we should be able to get a few spots here up the inside of Raikkonen, Ricciardo and Button. Wow, that's a triple overtake there on that straight. We've gone from 10th all the way up to 6th. And yeah, this has been a pretty fantastic start so far. Next up is our championship rival, Nico Rosberg. He's going slowly, getting caught up behind Vettel, who's also going slowly behind Hamilton. We pass those guys, double overtake into turn 4. And so in half a lap, we've gone from 10th all the way up to 2nd. So this has been absolutely fantastic so far in this Grand Prix. Next up is Lewis Hamilton. And it looks like we're actually catching up to him here on lap 4, using the slipstream, the curves, the DRS, absolutely everything, flying past him there. And we've clearly got ourselves a really good setup here. I believe we went fairly neutral on the aeros, so we're we're doing fairly well on the straight. So lap 5, we've got Lewis Hamilton coming back at us around the outside into turn 3 now, and we just maintain first at the moment. We've got 19 runners in the Grand Prix, so some people having some struggles already. And on lap 5, our tyre wear is so bad, it's just completely gone off the cliff in the last lap. Normally, I think I'd want to say you could do around 10, maybe 12 laps around this track, and now we're getting absolutely swamped coming into turn 1, and it's proving to be very bad. Look at the tyres there as we run wide. We've just got absolutely nothing left. I'm going to try and stick it out for this last lap, and then come in on lap 6 here. I think this is our recommended stop. Yeah, just completely going off in terms of tyre wear. I think there might be something up with this race. I think there might be some kind of glitch, because in 50% races, I can do 5 laps at least, maybe 6 laps sometimes. So what I think is going on here as we get passed by Raikkonen, I think the tyre wear is scaled to 50%. So if that's the case, then we might be really struggling to finish this race with all of our sets of tyres. We used 1 set of options in quali, and we used 1 set of primes in quali as well. So effectively we are running with about 4 sets of tyres that we can use for this race, and we've already used up one of those, the ones we're starting on now as well. We also have 1 set of used primes as well to use. So it's going to be interesting. If the tyre wear is this bad, 6 laps, the primes are only going to last a few more laps extra than that as well. So I'm thinking around maybe 9, maybe 10 laps the option of the primes last with a 50% tyre scaling. So this is going to be interesting. We're losing 5, maybe 6 seconds a lap now at this current pace. Ricciardo just clean goes around the outside of us. He's taken the lead of the Grand Prix. Now Raikkonen goes in a second. We now have a safety car. I have no idea why. Maybe some of the other AI are struggling for tyre wear as well. Maybe they just retired because they just couldn't get to the pit stop. I don't know. It's really weird. But either way, we have a safety car. This has kind of saved us a little bit. We'll be able to rejoin onto the back of the queue with the leaders. If this would have been like a green flag, race, then Ricciardo and Raikkonen would have got away by multiple seconds a lap. So this has really saved us now. Coming in for the pit stop, putting on the prime tyres. Hopefully they can last, and hopefully it's a good pit stop from Torro. The pit stop looks like it's a bit slow. We're getting held up by one of the Williams cars who had to make their stops. We rejoined just behind Kimi Raikkonen, and it doesn't look like we actually lost too much ground to him as well. So possibly he got held as well in waiting for cars to transition through the fast lane. But we rejoined in P8 in front of Lewis Hamilton. But look at the queue of cars here. Look at the front. We have a Marussia that is leading this Grand Prix. It seems that Max Chilton, of all drivers, started on the prime tyres. He decided not to pit, to stay out, and he's going for an alternative strategy here. So it's going to be interesting to see if this can work for him here. Korea, if he can maintain some decent straight line speed on the straights, then he should be able to park the bus through the rest of the lap. He might be able to maintain some track position here. That's if the tyre wear doesn't affect him too much. So it's going to be interesting here as we get ready for a restart. We've got Kimi Raikkonen in front of us, and then in front of him, I believe, is Jenson Button. It could be Kevin Magnussen, though. I'm not entirely sure on that one, so don't quote me on that. So we'll need to get a really good restart here. I'm moving over to the left here to get a nice and clean exit. I've saved up all of my curves here for the run to this green flag. Chilton now restarts the race. I think this is the first time he's ever restarted a race from the lead in his career. So this is pretty interesting. Button is in 18th place, so it's Magnussen who's in 2nd place. We got the inside of Kimi there into P3, effectively second after Max makes his pit stop. And as you can see, as you can hear on the team radio, our engineers telling us Max will be in just a few moments' time for his stop. And he immediately gets passed by the McLaren there, so we'll try and pass him as soon as we can. And Magnussen going slowly into turn 3. We outbrake ourselves, but we get the move done. Only just on Magnussen. Into the lead of the Grand Prix we go. We still have to manage our tyres quite a bit here, as we still have to contend with the 2 times or the 50% tyre scaling. And on lap 18, we've got Nico Rosberg, who's made his way back through the field and into the lead of the Grand Prix now. But we're going to try and hold it around the outside into turn 3. It looks like we might just about do that, though. Our rear traction is really starting to get bad at the latter phase of this middle stint here. And Vettel now getting himself up into 3rd now. But I think this is actually our scheduled time to pit for our prime tyres. This stint, of course, hasn't been that bad. I've been able to manage it just a little bit better with the prime tyres. Vettel getting very close on the inside. We need to pull into the pits, but I think he's pulling in as well, as it's the recommended pit stop time for everyone. So again, it's going to be another battle of the pit crews here. Hopefully Torro Rosso can get me out back in front of those top teams in Formula 1. Looks like everyone else is stopping on this lap as well, so maybe some teammates having to stack behind each other, but we get a nice and 3.1 second stop there, and back into the lead of the Grand Prix effectively. So job done. It looks like we've had a few more retirements in this Grand Prix. Raikkonen now takes the lead of the Grand Prix as he stopped on 1 lap earlier, so he's affected the undercut, and we're going to try and use up all of our curves, the DRS, absolutely everything, to get past Kimi and into the lead of the Grand Prix once again. He's gone for the option tyres. What is he doing? Does he know how bad the tyre wear is in this race? Oh, someone's lost their wing there. I heard it. I heard a clutter of a front wing. It's Sebastian Vettel who lost his wing, so he came into the pits on the very next lap. Now lap 24, we're maintaining the gap to Kevin Magnussen now, as our tyre wear, as always, is starting to go off now. He goes clean around the outside into turn 1. Job done, but we're going to have the DRS, I think. So we're going to use up most of our curves and the DRS to try and get that lead back. Rosberg is now back up into 3rd as he got around Vettel after he had his incident with the front wing. But yeah, Raikkonen going fast at the moment. He's made his extra stop after using his option tyres. And now we got the inside of Magnussen back into the lead of the Grand Prix. Only just, it's getting very close at this stage. Rosberg was trying to have a go at the exit of turn 3. And now, look at that. Magnussen is weaving all over the track trying to find an opening here. Or an overtaking opportunity. It's almost like he was a real person there just trying to find a gap. I've never seen that with the AI, but either way, lap 26, we've got Magnussen now coming back at us once again on the DRS straight. He goes for the inside line this time, and it looks like he might get the job done. We lock up the inside front tyre there as we pass him back up the inside into turn 3. This is really saving us here. Our braking performance seems to be fairly good in comparison to the AI. Lap 30, we're now coming in for another stop here and we'll be putting on another set of primes here. I'm just going to run primes for the rest of this race for as long as I can. I'm trying to stay out as long as I can to use all the life out of the tyres and hopefully avoid that 5-stop race as the pit stop. 3.1 seconds, so another decent stop there from Torro Rosso. Remember Sebastian Vettel, how he lost his front wing a couple of laps ago? He did this super undercut and now he's got track position. But look at that, the bottom right hand corner of the screen, we've got worn prime tyres on the car, so we've run out of fresh sets of primes and we're on lap 31. So if it's this bad on lap 31, we've got to use our option sets for the rest of this race, and it's not going to be good because the options only last 5 laps before they start, but they only last 4 laps to be honest before they start to go off. Massa now passes around the outside into turn 1, so our tyres have really gone off already, and it's only been a couple of laps since we last came in for our stop. Vettel then makes another stop, and now he's only right behind us, so despite making the extra stop, Vettel is in very good track position at the moment. We're going to try and pass Massa up the inside, are we? Yes, we are. He leaves the door open, and we go side by side now on this second straight here, and Massa just has so much more retraction. It's an absolute joke right now trying to stick with these guys. It's almost impossible. We go back up the inside of Massa. Our braking performance today is absolutely fantastic in comparison to the AI. Back into third. Now lap 38, we're coming in for another stop because I honestly can't stay out any much longer on this current set of primes. They only lasted me 6-7 laps, was it? We came in on lap 30, and now look at that, we're just locking up, we're understeering off the track onto the grass. And now we've used up all of our prime sets for this entire race. So we are pretty screwed now. We have to resort to our super soft tyres, which only lasted 5 laps before completely going off the cliff earlier on in the race. The pit stop is once again terrible. We get held by Lewis Hamilton there, so yeah, not looking good at this stage. Lap 44, we have a safety car once again, so somewhere around the track the AI are having issues, so maybe tyre wear affected, I'm not too sure. I then took the opportunity to come in for another stop because my tyres once again went off the cliff, and it's only been a couple of laps as well, so at this rate we're going to have to come in once more for another set of super soft tyres, but I think this might be our last set of options. The rest of our tyres have been used this entire weekend. We have absolutely no more sets of tyres, I believe. So it's going to be pretty close. I'm not too sure how it's going to go, to be honest, so we'll need to I honestly don't know what to do. Should I push? Should I save the tyres, even though the tyre wear is scripted? I have no idea. I've just got to keep driving the car as I am. There's nothing else I can really do. I've got to park the bus once I get into some decent track position. We pass Ricciardo up the inside into turn 1, and we're into 8th place. But it seems like with the AI, it's like they're not even affected by it. I've always said this, the AI aren't really affected by tyre wear, so they're able to drive on worn tyres for longer and not have that sort of time deficit that I have. We pass Magnussen on the back straight there into P7. Next up is Satil in a Sauber, who's doing a very good job in this tyre wear affected race, and it looks like we might be passing him soon, but our pace on new tyres is really good, and that's a real shame because it looks like we could have really got a good result in this race, and it looks like we probably won't even score points if we run out of tyres in this Grand Prix. Now passing Vettel on the DRS straight into P5. Next up is Bottas. We might even pass him coming into turn 3 as well, can we? It's going to be very close. He leaves the door open, and we get the job done. He runs out wide there and into P4. So there we go. Next up is Raikkonen, who is in his Ferrari. He's made quite a few stops in this race as well. So too with Vettel. I wonder if these guys are run out of tyres as well, and if it's going to be an absolute crawl to the finish of this race with everyone on dead tyres. I might not be alone here. This might be pretty interesting as we come in now for our final stop. Hopefully we still have one set of super soft tyres in the bank to get us all the way to the finish. There's only 3 laps left in this Grand Prix, and we're only P7 at the moment, so it's not as bad as what I thought it was going to be, as we have a 3.1 second stop there. We've got a few cars coming out onto the fast lane now, and we're rejoining 10th. Hulkenberg is in 11th, but I believe he's a long way back, so it looks like our points paying position is secure for the moment. But look at that, we've got a worn set of tyres that we've already used in this race. I decided, because they've already gone off the cliff, I was losing 4 or 5 seconds on that lap. I decided to come in and try the primes to see if I had any left, and no. Turns out I don't have any primes left, so that's a bit disappointing. we're going to have to pretty much crawl to the finish on dead prime tyres and try and secure this 1 point in this Grand Prix, and then see where our championship rivals end up at the end of the race. But now cutting to the final lap, we have Nico Rosberg, unfortunately for us, who's won this Grand Prix. We've had an absolute disaster here with a tyre strategy, but still, we managed to come home in a fairly decent 10th place.
Good job. We've taken 10th, 1 point.
Alright, so there we go. That's been the Korean Grand Prix for Season 4 of Career Mode. Unfortunate that glitch really had to play a part in this race. It seems that the AI were clearly not as affected as what I was in that race in terms of tyre wear. But it's very interesting nonetheless. Let me know in the comments if you've ever had something like this where you've actually run out of tyres. You had no sets of dry tyres to last you the entire length of the Grand Prix. And the drivers, though, we dropped 24 points to Rosberg. We had a 4-point lead coming into this championship race, and now we're 20 points behind with only 3 races to go. So it's going to be very interesting to see how the rest of this championship plays out. Let me know in the comments if you think we can win this thing. But it's going to be a very tough fight from here. We do have the pace. As I said a few races ago, tyre wear is going to be the determining factor in this championship, and it looks like it's dealt us a very cruel blow today. But that's been the Korean Grand Prix for today. Until my next video, which should be career mode at the US Grand Prix, I'll see you guys next time.